Talk about wishful thinking. A man is trying to crowdfund 1.6 billion euros to bail out Greece and wants your help. That's right. Tom Finney, who says he's fed up with the system and the greed of the central banks, has set up a crowdfunding page on IndieGoGo where he hopes to raise the money to help bail out the country. His reasoning is very clear. There are 503 million people in the European Union, and they would only need to chip in about $3, the cost of a Greek salad, to raise the money. He says, "My opinion is that we need to invest for something to grow, whether that be a person, a company, or a nation like Greece," he explained. And Margaret, I think he has a very laudable goal, but at the same time, I don't know if he's going to be successful. Initially, they were able to raise a good amount of money, but they're far, far away from the goal.
Well, you know, his proactivity is commendable, even if it's not really plausible that he can actually impact this crisis because it's so massive. I agree with him. These banks and creditors, they are to blame for this crisis that's happening. The theory running in financial circles is that there could possibly be an alternative currency, but really there isn't a lot behind that because it would have to self-regulate, which takes time. But at least one person is trying to get into the middle of this debacle and do something about it. Greece is insolvent, and unfortunately they're in a place of default. Merkel has said that she's not even allowing them to come to the table in negotiations until after the referendum. So they're really in a stall period here, Jose, in a free fall.
They are, and I think this initiative, this crowdfunding attempt, goes to show that there's a shift in mentality, and the younger generations are actually looking at the big picture and saying, why are you lending money to someone that you already know is not able to pay? Why are you putting that country in that situation? And again, I think the points that you mentioned, like the alternative currency, I think that will be, if they decide to go that route, the beginning of the end of the Eurozone, because that will be the first exit, and it will be in complete disagreement with what the euro stands for. That is unity, one central coin that brings everyone together and they bring them up and there's no disparity in between the countries. But the reality is that this union right now is creating an awful disparity for the Greek people that have to force themselves into austerity conditions that they can't survive anymore. The banks are shut down, and the reality is that the big countries that were in a better position before the alliance they need to take responsibility for this. But now they're saying, you know what? You decided that you didn't need our help. Now we're not going to give you your help. Greece came back and said, yes, we'll take the bailout. Help us out. We need it. But now everything is shut down till Sunday. The referendum, that's a big question. It's not clear what they're going to be voting on, although many think that this is pretty much a decision if we are going to stay or leave the Eurozone.
I mean, can you imagine what it feels like to be German right now? No, understandably, they're furious. They didn't want Greece to join the Eurozone. They said that their currency wasn't strong enough. They were accepted. I mean, this could deal a really historic blow to the Eurozone if they're forced to leave or vacate their ability to participate in it. But if I were German, I would be furious right now. I mean, they should have to, obviously, they have some measure of responsibility in this crisis. They should pull themselves up and try to get out of it. But honestly, Germany should come back to the table. They can't just exclude them at this point in the game. They might be able to down the road, but right now, they're too vulnerable. You know, the everyday person in Greece right now, they're shut out of their own bank accounts until Monday. I can't imagine what that must feel like for them.
And it could be just the beginning of a very, very dark moment for Greece, because if they also default in the next weeks to the European Central Bank payment that they need to do,
which they're going to.
Most likely, if they couldn't make this 1.6 billion euro payment, I doubt that they can do the 3.5 billion that they have to pay for the central bank, and that immediately will froze all paper money, all liquidity in the banks, and that will just make a snowball effect.
The shockwave that's going to have around Europe. Any participatory country in the Eurozone is going to feel this, whether they want to or not.
Well, and that's exactly what this guy, Tom Finney, is trying to make a point of. We need to front the situation, because otherwise it's going to affect the whole world. And maybe we all chip in a little bit to prevent this. Maybe we can make a difference. Let us know how you feel, and please subscribe to the Lip TV 2.